really kitey, high DPS underman teams, damps are your enemy, and also the boundary is your
And
enemy.
MacTip
So
might be making a run for the edge of glory now. He's at 104. These guys are just lemming over the boundary. Will he follow?
maybe he just wants to go outside with it, to be with his bros. Oh no, he actually, no, he's going. He's going full speed. He's
113,
gonna make it.
114.
So now
Oh,
it's like just denying kills at this point.
oh, it's unreal. The heel of Nanaki actually threw his shields.
Oh wow,
MacTip
MacTep's doing
he
some
managed to
elite
make the
piloting
turn,
here.
and that Gila is down to armor now.
Nice. MacTep showing that he's still
MacTip
got it.
might be able to hold on for that Gila to go down, but I don't know. I mean, they still got a Vulture, Gila, and 2 Serbs to get through, and you're really not going to outrun the Serbs' damage. That Gila's going to drop.
Whoever's drones volleys hit first.
Yeah,
They both drop at the same time.
So Razor Lions have a pretty solid 20-point lead right now. They have a lot more beef on the field. That Vexor Navy issue is not going to be terribly tanky. The Gila of Asaja... Ajasuri, did I get that? Hopefully I got that.
Yeah,
he is going to go down
nailed it.
probably before too long. He's like taking quite a bit of shield damage.
Yeah, these Razor Serbs can now basically hit the entire arena, and these solar ships, they can't lock anything. Their drones are all idle, it looks like. Some of them are just auto-aggressing Teabag Serb.
Oh, there you go.
So Teabag is going to get it.
Yeah, he is getting it. Look at that. That's quite a bit of damage going down on him. And actually, the damage against Solar Fleet here has stopped. It's actually swapped to Mac Lesser's Gila. I wonder, positioning-wise, I guess he might be closer in. Oh, they're both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the primary Gila Estra was actually sitting on an MJD beacon as well.
Huh.
So maybe the Razor saw this and said, hey, let's not waste our DPS. Let's just get this guy.
So Teabag, it looks like, he boosted a little bit there, it looked like, but he's going to go down, I think. But Mac Lesser now into armor. Huge chunks of his armor going away. He's going to be into structure before long and down, and I don't think Teabag Cerberus will die at this point.
Yeah, these Serbs are actually rapid light, and they are not reloading yet, so they've got a little bit of missile left in them. Mark's going to die before Teabag goes down. And Razor, I think they're just getting a little sloppy right now. They could just all kite away and never get shot, but they're just going to make a game of this.
Why not? You've got, what, a Vexor Navy and a Gila. Maybe you lose a Cerberus, maybe not.
Yeah.
Might as well clean up the field, end this match. Don't just kite for 3 minutes and make us suffer. Get this over with, and there goes actually Teabag Serb now taking a substantial amount of damage suddenly. Like he was bringing shields back, and he's through armor now.
Oh, Teabag's, he's gone.
It's incredibly flimsy that the guy's dying so fast. He's into structure now. One more volley should take care of him.
Meanwhile, the rest of the Solar team are just hanging on this MJD beacon saying, come at me.
And there he goes. Teabag is down, but the Vexor Navy issue of Praetoric is now webbed. That's going to spell trouble. The drones will catch up from the Gila. A little bit of damage.
Estra's activated his MJD. Nope, I just can't see things.
Just kidding. So the Gila now, or the Vexor Navy issue into armor now. No real damage being applied to the Razor team. Solar Fleet kind of desperately trying to maybe scrape something together here, but I don't think they're even going to survive the time. And really, at this point, you don't have enough DPS to get through that Vulture anyway.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do now. Though, to Solar's credit, they took a very weird, very undermanned setup. Very brave of them. They did okay. I mean, they tore this Razor team apart.
They just didn't do it fast enough.
Yeah.
And so the Vexor Navy issue about to bleed into structure here. It looks like 7-9 is taking a substantial amount of damage in his shields, but again, as soon as this Vexor Navy issue goes down, it's probably a little bit under half of the damage they have on the field, and it's just really not going to, I don't know, maybe they get 7-9 down, maybe they don't. It's kind of just a moral victory. The points don't really carry over anyway, so.
Yeah, maybe they just really hate 7-9.
And I guess at this point we're in the elimination bracket anyway, so these guys are Solar Fleet will be going home or back to station to cry in station, I don't know. But
they'll have some vodka. It'll be fine. They'll make a good thing out of it. But Razor advances, assuming they don't all just boundary violate right now, which, I mean...
They'd have a long way to go. They're pretty far from the boundary.
But I think they could do it if they really believed in themselves. And I kind of want to see that. They got a minute to do it.
I mean, I believe in them. We've seen some pretty amazing throws. It could happen. There's still time. We have Asaja's Gila taking a bit of damage, but he seems to be kiting it, I guess, just kind of doing his thing. Drones look like they're starting to catch up to him now, and he's going to start taking damage again.
The weird thing is they do this really smart tactic, Solar do, and they sit on these MJD beacons, but they never actually activate them. They just kind of wait. They're just kind of playing chicken, and then they just run away from them.
Yep, and so he's at half shields. That 7-9 looks like he got caught by the drones again, and he's going to go into armor here shortly. Serbs obviously are shield-tanking ships, and once he gets into armor, he's not in a happy place, so he might actually go down. That Gila of Asad just kind of hanging on to the end of his shields, also shield-tank ship. 11% on his shields, 7-9 into structure. He will go down here from one more volley. Meanwhile, that Gila is into armor. The match will come to an end when he explodes.
He is not long for this world.
No. no, he will not survive out the 41 seconds that we have left right now. 20-point lead for Razor, and I think they're going to get the full 100. Congratulations to them for surviving, continuing on into the elimination bracket, going deeper. Do we know who they're playing much? Let's see.
They play, I believe.
I don't see them on here for today, so they may actually have a break until tomorrow. So
Wow,
that is
cool
good
stuff.
for them. They get to get a good night's sleep. Ronin.
Oh, they play the Ronin. Yeah, that's the end of the before the break. They'll play the Ronin.
Oh, they do. Wow, they don't
Solar
have a
Fleet
break.
go
God,
home. They get a few rattlesnakes for their effort.
So Razor actually get what 3 hours of time to prepare. So good luck to them.
They'll
Get some
be
rest
fine.
and get some food. We'll go back to the desk.
Rape is your fucking primary! Rape is the fucking primary! And we're gonna fucking rape him now!
Go for Tile Wars, free for all on Tile Wars.
Dear Diary, today I saw drones. I'm CCP Gargant, joined here by Sir Squeeple, CCP Fuzzy, and CCP Rice. I don't know if Solar Fleet were trying to fit the entire meta of this tournament into one team, but they did it.
I mean, I think what Fozzie was saying kind of before the match and saying during it is true. They really just dislike frigates. They really just don't seem to feel happy to have support. They just all want to fly big ships, and they've sort of moved past battleships to kind of medium, but they just don't like them. I don't know.
If there's one thing that drone teams obviously do, and only drone teams, it's make people boundary violate.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, the Gila was out of shields when he left, but there was still more to live for. I mean, armor and structure is enough of a reason.
I genuinely think without those two boundary violations,
It
they
would've
make
been a lot
they make a
closer.
really close run for the match.
Yeah.
But other than those two, they actually flew really well. They evaded a lot of the damage.
Yep.
It was taking a long time for the damage from Razor to get on top of them. Basically, if they'd kept those two pilots in the arena, it would have been very tight. I still think Edge would have been to Razor. But if they managed to not boundary violate and downgraded one of the ships to fit two Logi frigs instead, then I think Solar would have actually been in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning that they opted not to bring links. Like, they really committed to this whole, we're all going to have damage, we could all be the hero, because nobody wanted to bring links. And that not only affects your outright tank, but also your speed. So you could see, like, the Gilas of Razor and even the Kerberos on Razor's side, they were burning around a lot faster than the Gilas could for Solar, which definitely hurt him in the end.
Yep, and that reduces a lot of the damage, as we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, this is one of actually very few matches, it seems like, where teams have opted to just abandon links completely, and I don't think it's gone well in the other ones either.
No.
It's usually a bad choice. We've seen a couple, like, people generally do it if they're really tight on points elsewhere. So if they're trying to do something like this, or if they're doing a tinker, which is, tinkers are all often light on, like, tough to fit everything into the points you want, but doing a tinker without links is always a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's just never good.
Tinker without links.
Yeah.
It's been done.
It's been tried.
Oh.
It hasn't been successfully done.
It's been brought, but it's not delivered. Let's carry on from this match. I will put a happy check mark, as I am 2 for 3 for today. The next match coming up is Castabouts versus the Devil's Warrior Alliance. And I'm going to go straight to the bans because I find them very interesting. Castabouts banned the Dominics
Okay, yeah.
and the Dominics Navy issue.
Ooh, they just don't want
We
space
do
what I'm
potatoes.
talking about.
want
All right.
these ships.
They're just like boycotting the Dominics till we update the model. I bet that's it.
That's probably it.
Devil's
Devil's Warrior.
uglying up their matches.
The Devil's Warrior Alliance banned out the Gyla and the Rattlesnake. So those
much more normal.
Much more
Yeah.
normal.
We haven't. Castabouts would have banned the Sin if we gave him a third ban, I bet.
Probably. We haven't
Please bring
seen
sense.
any Dominics is like at all this tournament.
We've seen one yesterday, right? At some point they brought it.
Yep,
to
we saw
Dominic's
Dominic's yesterday.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
we've seen a couple of them. The one that was brought yesterday was actually a flagship, I believe. So there's been some use of it, but not super popular. But actually, it's been banned quite heavily. It's up there for one of the most banned ships.
Oh.
In Ishtar, there are two ships that are not being brought a lot, but it's hard to tell whether they're not being brought because they're being banned so much, or they're being banned badly because no one was going to bring them
He
anyways.
looks really skeptical.
I mean,
we
I
up their
just
points a lot,
It
so
seems
they're-
really strange.
yeah.
It just seems strange that people like if you guys haven't read the points that Dominic's is set at 20, is that right? And where normal Tech 1 battleships are 17.
So a Navy Dominix is actually cheaper in points than a
Yeah.
Dominix. It's 19 points.
And I mean, that's just because as we found out last year, the tracking bonus on the centuries is really, really strong. So
In
it
a
just
tournament
deserves,
environment, yeah, it's great,
just specifically here. It's just strange to see people still scared of it, apparently, even though it hasn't seemed to be worth it for most teams. So I don't know.
I mean, if you're doing a team, actually, if you're doing something like, though obviously hopefully a bit more optimized, like the Solar Fleet team, where you're relying on cruiser-sized ships keeping range, a Dominix is a nightmare. Even
Sure.
with the current point values, seeing curators dropped by a Dominix is going to be bad news for a team like that.
Yeah.
But I still feel that there are other ships that are better in terms of cost and the fact, like what you get, your bang for your buck, so to speak, in the form of maybe the Gila or the even a Vexor Navy issue.
Yeah, I mean, sure, with a setup like that, if you see a Dominix, you're going to be banging your head against your desk, whatever. But with a setup like that, if you see a Golem, then you're just going to pull a code and walk away from your computer and leave.
Yeah, that was actually what I was just thinking as well. Like, I'm surprised that teams are banning Dominixes wouldn't ban Marauders. I would think usually that's the more realistic threat that kind of attacks the same sort of setups as Golems or maybe Paladins, but I don't know.
Banning the Navy Dominix, though.
Yeah.
Come on, that's really doing them a favor, not helping yourself
I
out.
actually think that's a slight against you. You like them, don't you?
Oh, well, no? No,
You do now. I've decided.
No, okay, well, I'll pretend it for the purposes of this test, but they're my least favorite tournament ship of all time.
So they're just doing it out of solidarity.
Why?
Maybe,
Yeah.
I guess.
Why don't you like them?
All the ships are going to be
Why don't
coming
I
in
like
named
them?
for CEO. It'll be
Because
great.
they get misused every time. People are like, look at how much damage is on this Navy Dominix.
It does a lot of damage.
It does so much damage,
Yeah.
but it does so much damage up until the point where it can't hit anything, which it never does.
Yeah.
And then it dies, and then I end up ranting into the next match. and
Whether
you
or
call
not
me
you
out.
can hit doesn't affect like the EFT number at all.
No, that is true.
Yes.
Looking good on paper is the first
Like
step.
1,600.
Navy
That's
Dominix
it.
is
What more could you ask for, really?
It's
Navy
hard
Dominix
to
is
find more,
right
no?
up there with Torp rattlesnakes.
Which we should
Rage
also
Torp
be
rattlesnakes.
seeing. Yeah, we should
lots
definitely
of
see
those.
some of those. Those
Yeah.
would be the new Navy
Maybe that's why
Dominix.
people are banning rattlesnakes.
It's the torps that really bring it home.
But both of these teams have brought things that kind of surprised us in the past. What do you guys think they'll bring to the table this time?
Oh, it is hard to say.
Yeah.
What did Devils ban?
Devils banned the Gila and the Rattlesnake.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going to say, Castabouts has shown that they're happy to shield tinker, but that gets a little bit harder. I mean, the Ishtar is still open, so they could do that.
The
but
dual tank Eos is still open.
that almost didn't work for other teams recently, and as much as I'd like to have a heart attack for another match of an Eos and Structure, I would say probably not. Probably not.
But now that we've been talking about those that are going home and those that are still going on, no teams that leave today go home empty-handed, do they? We changed the price structure.
Yes, so we now give out prizes. For one thing, every time you win any match or a series, when we get to the series, you're going to be getting a set of special rattlesnake skins for your trouble. And so these are going to be limited edition. They're only going out to the tournament teams for now. And so you're going to be these are going to be quite profitable. Rattlesnakes, of course, are extremely popular ships, and they look really cool with the new skins. They look a lot like the tournament prize cruiser and frigate. And then we're also giving out Plex spread out. So yes, the teams. Yes, at this point, everyone is is in the at least 5 Plex round, and I think the winners bracket guys who have won are guaranteed into the 15, maybe. I might be getting that wrong, but if they're not there, they're close.
Yeah, they're close.
Yeah.
And the top 6 places then get the
Get the
tournament
prize
chips.
chips. Yep. And so by the time, the teams that are still in the undefeated bracket are all within spitting distance of that.
Yep. So you guys all have a chance to get something really, really shiny for your troubles. But now we're about to go into the match. What are your predictions? I'm going with Castabouts because they are my favorite.
And despite them banning my favorite ship of all time, the Navy Dominic's, I'm also going to go with Castabouts.
Yeah, I'm going to Castabouts as well.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously, Castabouts is doomed.
Obviously, Castabouts is doomed. Let's see what happens.
You want to stay up to date on the market? You spend most of your time blowing stuff up, but you want to know why Plex are so damn high? Then watch EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. EVE Talk with me, the Lone Wolf, every Saturday, only on YouTube.
Test have sort of a poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership.
All right, guys, welcome back for day 6 of the Alliance Tournament. I am Elise Randolph, joined in the commentator's booth with Bacchanalian, and we've got Castabouts versus the Devil's Warrior Alliance.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting match to get to see who goes on to play MIF later in the day. And we have Newts and Blasters against Newts and Blasters.
Yeah.
Playing some drones, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting setup. So Castabouts have brought a Vindicator, put it in at 0, brought an Armageddon, put it in at 0. Oneros, 2 Ishimus, 2 Vexers, 2 Ishkers, and 3 Tristans. While Devil's Warrior Alliance have also brought an Armageddon. They brought double Astarte with an Oneros, Vexer Navy issue, Celestis, 2 Vexers, 2 Merlins, and 2 Tormentors. So right away we have tracking disruption down on the Vindicator, damps on an Armageddon, damps on the Oneros, damps on the Celestis. So I'm sorry, damps on a, yeah, it's just already
Devil's
E-war
Warrior
everywhere.
Alliance are actually doing a really good job. The TDs on the Vindicator and the Newts on the Vindicator are going to make him incredibly sad. That said, they're actually not really charging. They're just waiting for Devil's Warrior Alliance to charge into them. So
And
let's
that's
see.
what they're doing. Webb immediately on the Astarte of Mithrander Min, and we'll see if he starts taking some significant damage. Actually, it looks like Cyborg Detman's taking the damage on the other side. He does have reps on him, but Newts on both Astartes, which is where you want to put those. Those do not like being neutered. They can't fire blasters without cap. He's into armor now. The Vindicator, meanwhile, is the primary target for Devil's Warrior, and they put him into armor already. He is getting remote repped, but it looks like he's taking damage faster than he's getting health back.
Yeah, the Castabouts Oneros is actually damped out and neuted. This is a great combination. Damp him to get him close in, and then neut him with the long-range newts. So here we go. This is a great target call.
Yeah,
for,
and he's into
Cas.
low armor. This is going to be a really big loss for Castabouts. They lose that Vindicator. That's a big part of their strategy. That's a lot of points right off the bat. It's a lot of damage right off the bat. Meanwhile, both Astartes and the Oneros on the Devil's Warrior side are webbed, and both the Oneros and the Astarte taking some damage. But that Vindicator's about to go into structure. He's going to go down long before Cyber Detman's
And he's not
Astarte
receiving
does.
any reps because of the this Oneros is actually webbed, pinned down in the back and damped, so he can't do much.
And here he goes, just tiny bits of structure. Looks like we got a web on the Armageddon next to Castabouts. Armageddon will probably be low. Well, web is lost on him. Thought he was me next primary. We will see, but no appreciable damage on Devil's Warrior Alliance anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is
you think maybe they're trying to stress out the Oneros pilot micromanagement-wise, shooting both him and the Astarte, but any experienced logisticians know how to do that.
Castabouts have so much control, but they're still not doing as good as they'd like to.
Well, they're not applying all the control either, which tells me that
Those
Devil's Warrior
damps are
Alliance,
effective.
yeah, who are applying all of their control, are doing a really good job here. Neither attack bar very high. Both teams are really struggling to apply their damage. I wonder if those Astartes are fairly well damped down right now. First Ishimu, Vlar Antipov is starting to take a fair bit of damage. He's into low armor. Logistics still not repping him. Those damps on the Oneros are absolutely devastating. Probably the Newts too. He's about to go into structure, receiving no reps, even still 0 reps. Web on him, and he is down. The Oneros, meanwhile, Adrian Dixon into low armor.
Ashimu is down, but they're going to trade it for this Oneros, and that is a great trade. This is going to be like the first big play that Castabouts are going to make, if they can make it.
Yeah, it's going slowly, but maybe so. I mean, to be fair, they lost a ton of their damage. Putting a Vindicator on the field, along with an Armageddon, is a ton of your points. and really you lose one of those and you're in deep trouble, and they are in deep trouble. But that Oneros is bleeding into structure now. Adrian Dixon looks like he's going to go down very shortly. Oneros for Tim and Lee just got volleyed through armor, and he is down. He just absolutely melted, just vanished off the field. He was deleted.
He went with the shield on Aerosfit, and that did not last very long.
No.
He got 2 boosts off and completely zonked.
Unbelievable. I mean,
So
Adrian
the Logi
Dixon
trade
does go
actually
down,
happened, but
yeah, Castabouts are really with their backs to the wall right here. They're about to lose a Tristan, Ashimu taking a fair bit of damage, and a TD down on him is going to, do its thing. Vexer's into armor.
yeah, we see a lot of split fire here, but a lot of this is probably due to just the support war, the way that's going on.
Right, and drones auto-aggroing as they might do.
Yeah.
Iridescent Moons, Tristan about to go down, it looks like. Meanwhile, the Vexer Body Shock is webbed. He's getting some reps back, but he is taking a fair bit of damage. I think he's going to go down around the same time as Eophus' Ashimu, who is bleeding into structure now. Actually, the Ashimu looks like he's going to go down first.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go down
We also
first.
have
So
Turgon
much split
Celestis,
damage.
so it's like, I feel like if you're having that much trouble with the damage, you get the Celestis earlier, and it goes to Celestis is going to go down, but
The Casts are going to trade way too much for it. They lost the Ashmu. They're going to lose probably these 2 Vexers. Unless, let's see, they're not shooting the Vexers anymore. It looks like they're Devil's Warrior just going to
Going
say,
for the
screw this
Armageddon.
Geddon.
yeah.
Hate
well,
him.
if I'm in a Stardate and I'm getting neutered out that bad, I don't like the Armageddon. I have a full cat booster. I'm going to try to apply it, maybe get that off the field. I mean,
Yep,
it's hard to get away from an Armageddon.
This Geddon's actually melting really hard. And in return, Castabouts aren't really getting much for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the Armageddon on the Devil's Warrior side is counter-neuting the Castabouts Armageddon, so he's not really able to apply probably all of his newts. He does have newts on those 2 Astartes, but he's absolutely melting down.
So we see a Vexer pop, a Merlin about to pop for Devils. So Castabouts,
Castabouts support are starting to win that support war, I
yeah,
think.
they're
Now that
doing good
Celestis
in
is
that
gone.
regard, but they're
But
about
that-
to lose their
there's
last
again-
DPS ship, their last true DPS brawling ship.
Yeah, 2 Vexers, 2 Ishkars, 3 Tristans are not going to bring down 2 Astartes in an Armageddon. Just,
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. They have a Vexer Navy issue web. Meanwhile, Velgrazik's Vexer also taking damage. Not a ton of damage being applied right now to the Castabouts team, and Ishkar taking a bit of damage, but that Armageddon's about to go down.
And
so
there he goes. That's actually probably the best trade that Cass has had throughout the entire match, which is probably why they lost this match.
Yeah, that Vexer is going to go down, it looks like, on the Devil's Warrior side. Not going to matter. Ishkar's going to go with him. Really, again, Vexer, Ishkar, or 2 Vexers, Ishkar, and triple Tristan. Tormentor's going to go down here. At this point, Castabouts are just kind of grasping at kills.
Yeah, Devil's Warrior Alliance bringing Blaster Astartes and owning with them. What do you think about that?
I really love it. I love me some blasters. That was my first. I'm a Galente pilot originally. First love were medium blasters. Love the Astarte. And for I don't get to fly it a whole heck of a lot, but it is a lot of fun. And I just, like I said, I love the in-your-face DPS. I'm coming to get you stuff. And they're applying it really well here. Now that they have no newts on them, they're just happy campers now. They got their cap back. I'm sure they're able to use those blasters, MWD to their targets, and get there and just. Bang, we got off Strife, it looks like, is webbed and probably going to be melting very shortly with those Astartes on him, and there he goes.
And not only do we have Blaster Astartes, we've got, it looks like, no, it's just a tackle Vexer Navy issue. I thought maybe he had blasters on him because he's right up on Offsea's face.
But why not? Vexer is down, so I wonder if maybe that Vexer Navy also has newts. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're saying,
probably.
yeah. So,
He's got tackle for sure. He probably has newts as well.
I got a web on Seaver Detman's Astarte there, but Ishkur and 3 Tristans, that would be a heck of a fight to bring those down. I mean,
This would be like a huge throw if it happens, but
I've taken an Astarte down with an Oneros, but I don't know about frigates. That's 3 Tristans is going to be a rough fight. That Ishkur is down now.
Yep, so it looks like Castabouts eliminated now from the tournament. As Fozzie mentioned, they do get those fancy blueprints for the rattlesnakes.
Yep, but Devil's Warrior are going to move on to fight MIF right after the break in match 98. So again, it's a quick turnaround. These guys don't have a ton of time to get prepared. You would assume they have to have that setup already fit, already ready to go. They know what they're going to fly, or at least maybe 2 or 3 options depending on bands.
Yeah.
Another first Tristan off the field. There's 2 more to go. Well, 1 more to go now. Then they're just going to get destroyed. If they're in range of these Astartes, they're just going to get blapped.
And that is the curse of the elimination bracket. You have to be ready to play a lot of matches in short order, which is why teams are like grasping at straws not to get put in the elimination bracket. Either way, Devil's Warrior Alliance, they took a really different setup than what we've seen at all this tournament, and I like it. I'm down with it. They got a Celestis for the dams. That's cool.
So we got a Merlin v Tristan
No
duel
drones
going on,
really,
but that
besides
Tristan is going to lose
the
it.
one Vexer, yeah.
So Devil's Warrior cleans up here, does a really good job. They move on with that interesting setup, and now something for MIF to think about. Are they going to bring back Astartes? They bring like high DPS, or we have to face that. So
Yeah, I like their style.
yeah, with that, we'll go on back to the desk and let the guys talk about that a little bit.
Some people might call it a commentator curse. I just call it incompetence. We can't call for Jack.
Speak for yourself. That was my first wrong one today.
Yeah, we would have been fine up until the point where Rise agreed, and at that point, Castbouts was like, let's just bring the exact same setup that we've already brought.
Yeah, so this was really interesting. We were trying to figure out during the match. There was one small thing that was really different about this particular matchup, which is the Devil's Warrior Alliance actually fielded tracking disruptors, which is something like we haven't seen very much of at all. Obviously, most of the damage in this tournament is coming from drones, and kind of the secondary or the second most popular is from missiles. So tracking disruptors are a weird choice, but thinking it's a really, really good decision by them, both because of the fact that Castabelts brought this setup previously with the Vindicator, and also because they banned that Navy Dummy, which may have tipped them off that they didn't want to fight something at close range with a lot of damage. So,
and something I overlooked before, Devil's Warriors actually did bring Navy Dominixes, so, which probably I think is why they were in the losers bracket. So, yeah, that ban actually makes some small bit of sense, but I still just...
I was very impressed with that match, though. I'll fully admit that I underestimated Devil's Warriors in that match.
Yeah, definitely. They not only like did a good job in the match piloting, but some really, really good decisions around their setup, and yeah, kind of adjusting to their opponent really well, which is obviously really important.
Yeah, and they'll be up against MIF next, so that'll be interesting. I actually think I think my vote will be with them over MIF. We'll come to that, of course, later.
The Devil's Warrior Alliance have proven themselves not to be some floozy, because we haven't seen them before in a tournament, have we?
This is the first time that they've competed under that name, at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you, like, speaking back to the Navy Dummy ban, I think it's kind of odd to choose to ban a ship like that kind of really points out your setup. Like, going out of the typical Gila, like Marauder, I mean, it really says something pretty specific about what you don't want to fight. I mean, we were laughing about, like, it must mean they don't want to fight, like, battleships that are target painting themselves or something like that, which is silly, but actually it does say a lot about what they don't want to fight, and it proved to be true. They had battleships and they had close range ships, so it's an interesting choice too.
It's also very possible that we were just overthinking everything, and all they did was like, look at what did Devil's Warrior bring last or in a previous match. Let's ban that.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
Castabouts, I think they probably thought about it a bit deeper than that, because they've shown some pretty good thinking before.
Yeah, I mean, they've executed some really, like, their Shield Tinker setup, they definitely have run through a bunch of options. So I find it interesting, like you said, that they would ban something which would already suggest they were going to bring that setup. And it's not a setup they flew 6 weeks ago in a different tournament. It's what they flew, like, in their last match in this tournament. So definitely a risky play by them, and unfortunately it didn't play out, but Devils did a really nice job.
But now, Castabouts go home. They are not in any more matches. Devil's Warrior Alliance meet up with MIF later today. So we'll see them after the break again. So on to the next match.